Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me as we unbox and take a look at this brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, DC Direct, Page Punchers, Shazam. Yeah, and this was a darn tough figure to get here in Canada. A lot of pre-orders went up, canceled pre-orders, a 2 month delay, all this kind of stuff. But I did pick this up from Amazon and it came within about 4 business days. It was scheduled to be shipped within 2 months, and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, the toy god smiled and they shipped them out pretty quick, and I'm very happy about that. And having this figure in hand and really kind of looking at it, I can see why this figure sold out. It is one of the best looking representations of Shazam, the modern era, the Dan Mora artwork that we see throughout DC Comics. Plus, he has a little bit of that CC Beck artist inspiration as well. He's the classic artist from Shazam from the old days. But let's get this guy out of the package and we'll discuss all things Shazam. All right, so we got our Shazam out of the package. We'll take a close look at some of the accessories. The cape clasp is on the figure, went on very easily. We also got two fists here that are pretty darn nicely sculpted. Very cool. Doesn't come with any lightning effects. Doesn't come with anything else, but he does come with a very nice comic. This is Dawn of DC #1 by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. I've been collecting this series since the onset, so it's nice to get an extra comic, I guess. We also get the display stand and a new trading card with different artwork. That's really nice. And it's all in this nice little plastic shell to protect the comic book. And let's take a look at this comic book. Why not? All right. So it's got some very nice artwork. I love the contemporary Dan Mora artwork, the CC Beck artwork in the back of Shazam. It looks really good. Now, for all of you DC animated fans, we had some really nice looking products here. We got the Batmobile with Batman, the Joker mobile with Joker, and available at Target. And we got some zaniness going on here. We got Shazam riding a T-Rex. We got some really nice artwork by Dan Mora, and he's just like action, really, really nice artwork. I'm not gonna go through the entire comics. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, we got some great, stellar artwork. One more shot. A lot of action going on in this comic too. Really nice. And then you get a really cool ad for DC All In. Very cool. I can't wait to read this. I've had this for a few months and I just haven't had time to read it. This came out back in October. Holy moly, that was like 6 months ago almost. But yeah, I guess we got around to get around to reading some of my comics. I buy a lot of comics, enjoy the covers, kind of do a quick little look at them if I get some free time, like on a Sunday afternoon. But man, I just want to hunker down and just read some comics and have some fun. But yeah, really nice comic book here. We got the trading card. Take a nice look at that. Some really nice artwork. Full bio about Shazam. Pause and expand if you want to take a look at that. But Shazam has been around a long time. He's been around since like 1940 by Fawcett Comics. Wasn't a DC comic character. He did have a long, lengthy battle against Superman for copyright infringement and just outselling Superman in DC Comics, which was pretty interesting. But eventually, he did kind of disappear and went in limbo when Fawcett Comics kind of went under. DC bought the rights to him, and in the '70s, he saw a lot of Superman versus Captain Marvel. So that's what he was called back then. It was before the Marvel takeover, so to speak. And yeah, there were some really epic battles and a lot of cool covers. And then recently, he switched the name to Shazam for copyrights. Marvel had the copyrights. I think it was in 2008 or 2009. He just became Shazam. And now he kind of goes by the Captain as well, which I don't like that. It's either Captain Marvel or Shazam. And I'm pretty cool with Shazam. Not really cool with the Captain, but there you go. Now, I have been collecting this comic since the onset, and I wanted to show some amazing covers that we've gotten with this comic. A lot of variant covers. Our John Timms #1, really cool. Love that one. We also got, of course, number two. I got number one in a regular version, excuse me, and that's just the one that we just took a look at. But this one is awesome. Another John Timms. He's one of my favorite artists. He did some really great stuff, some great covers for the Absolute Power series as well. Yeah, I love comic books, man. I learned how to read from comic books, watching Sesame Street. As when my parents immigrated from Italia to Canada, they really couldn't speak English, and neither could I. So I had to learn. And comic books were my thing, and I loved it. And I wanted to figure out what was going on, so I figured out how to read and watch Sesame Street and all that good stuff. Really nice art, just a couple of my favorite covers. This one was really cool, much better than the variant in my opinion as well. Shazam versus Black Adam, really cool. So yeah, there you go. Some Shazam comics. Love those comics. Now let's take a closer look at the figure and see what we got going on here. Now, it's a striking head sculpt. I love how they added a little bit of blue highlights in the hair for that comic kind of style appearance. He is on the Crisis on Infinite Earth Superman body box. I know you're getting a absolute stellar body box. The lightning logo, unfortunately, isn't sculpted. It's not raised. It's just stamped and painted on. But it's really crisp. No bleeding edges or anything like that. It looks fantastic. That clasp around the cape is fantastic. And speaking of this cape, it's a little shorter than we're used to. But it's styled how it is with Captain Marvel. He does have a shorter cape. And it's a very nice quality fabric. It almost has like a leathery feel for the gold trim around it. And the wire does run all the way through the cape. Just beautiful. And of course, even on this top part as well. So you can get a lot of poses, a lot of dynamic action with that cape. It is really nicely done. And the McFarlane capes, man, they are so good. Mattel, man, let's see what they do. If they do cloth wire, do they go to rigid plastic or a soft plastic? Only time will tell. Now, his hands here, these open, sprawled out hands are freaking huge, man. They are really big for some reason. And there's just one glaring thing every time I look at this figure. See that red ball joint? I think it should have been painted gold to go along with the bracers. I am contemplating about painting that gold so it matches up nicely and doesn't break up the aesthetics of the figure. He does have this bright yellow going on as well, which, man, I don't like the bright yellows, but I kind of like it with the Shazam because that's pretty classic. So I might just leave that, and I don't think I'm going to paint that gold. Maybe if I could find another Shazam, I would do that, but man, this was a tough figure to find. I don't think I'll be doing any real toy surgery on it, but really impressive looking figure. Absolutely love the way this guy looks. So let's swap out the hands, and we'll see how he looks with those fisted hands. All right, so we got the fisted hands on it. They look great. They're proportionate, and I just wanted to show you here. Look how red it is. That should have been painted gold. Oh, that kind of bugs me. But the hands come off nice and easy, not difficult whatsoever. Nothing to worry about breaking any pegs. They fit on nicely as well. And that's probably the look I'm going to go for with the fist hands. And man, he's just a striking looking figure. Now let's run through some of the articulation on this guy. His head is on a very good ball joint. You get lots of range of movement. You got the side attitude going on as well. You have the spacer joint here. So you got the butterfly hinge. You got a bicep cut. You do have double jointed ratcheted elbows, ball joints at the hands. Torso articulation with this diaphragm cut. You can look back. Not too bad. Forward, you don't got much going on. You got a ball joint at the waist as well. You do have ball joints at the hips for extra movement. You do have double jointed ratcheted knees. They're a very strong ratchet. Toe articulation. Every time I see a figure without toe articulation, I'm like, why is it missing it? Because it's so important, I think. You also have the sculpted ball joints. You have anchor, rocker, pivot. And what's nice, the yellow sculpted ball joints do match the rest of the boot. So it's not an off color. Very nicely done there. You do have pins, though. I've noticed a lot of pinless figures these days. You got the G.I. Joe figures, you got the Masters of the Universe. Would have liked to have seen some pinless figures from McFarlane Toys, but hopefully Mattel will carry that tradition of pinless action. But still, this is just a phenomenal looking Shazam, and I'm really happy to have this figure in the collection. I do want to bring out some other Shazam figures and see how they compare against this guy here. We'll bring out one of my favorites. This is from the Fury of the Gods with, of course, that John Kent Superboy head sculpt. I just think this works out a lot better than the Zachary Levi head sculpt, which was by no means a bad one. I just don't want to have him in my action figure collection. I'm just like that. I really don't care about having these, actors in my action figure collection. I really don't buy those kind of figures. So, but I love the way this guy looks, and I really like how this is a thinner, younger body buck. And to me, this is kind of like a Teen Titans version or a Titans version of Shazam. He's not super grown up yet. He still has a bit of that young adult kind of body and physique and proportions. So I really like that. But this one here is your powerhouse classic Shazam. Grown up, he's an adult. He's the powerhouse that'll be on the Justice League fighting side by side with Superman, taking on Darkseid. Very cool. I really like the contrast between these two guys. I wish this guy had a cloth wired cape, but that was before the day of cloth wired capes. But yeah, really like the way these two guys size up. Two different versions of Shazams. And we haven't had a lot of Shazam figures in the collection, to be honest with you. I think we've had like four. I do have five. I have five of them. This is the classic one that everybody's been wanting. And it's taken almost 4 years to get to this point of this page puncher Shazam. So very interesting that it took that long. I want to bring in some other characters to kind of mess around with. We got the other version of Shazam from DC versus Vampires. This one's pretty cool. Very grotesque looking face. A lot of blood on his hands and on the lightning bolt. And this one is based on the the gold label Shazam that we got from DC Rebirth. Really like that figure. Never opened it, but basically it's the exact same body buck. Really kind of a dull looking gold on this guy to represent, the battle worn. The cape is tattered, just ripped up and sculpted so damn well. Really nicely done. Yeah, this is your evil version, the vampire. And speaking of that Rebirth Shazam, I want to bring that guy in too. Got him in the package and never opened him. He's really cool. That's a great head sculpt. Of course, he's got these gigantic hands. What the heck is going on there? He does have some lightning effects, which is greatly appreciated. And this was a gold label. And one of the best pieces of the entire packaging is this artwork on the back of Shazam just eating some lunch. He's got Billy written on his lunch bag. And this is a cool variant cover from, I believe, the 2018 series. Never got that series. I definitely want to collect it and definitely get this cover to add to my comic book collection. Really nicely done. Really like that one. Another figure I want to bring in, we did a little bit of toy surgery on this guy. This is our Justice Lord Superman. We added a newer head sculpt. We added the Gladiator Superman head sculpt. Man, it turned out so good. Really a distinct kind of evil presence about this guy. And just seeing these two guys together, look at the height difference. This is on the Crisis body, and it's a big body block, and I love it. It's just a powerhouse looking Shazam. And I think he could take down a lot of characters in the DC universe. Very cool. Very cool. I like that one a lot. And then we'll bring in a couple more guys. This one, he's one of my favorites. And this is the Infected Superman on the Hush body block. Big size difference between these two guys as well. But I think if you're doing some action figure photography, you can kind of fudge the perspective and really have these two guys scaled in some dynamic, epic battles. I think that would be fantastic. That could happen on the channel. Hint, hint. And definitely wanted to bring in this one because I love this figure. This is our Professor Zoom Reverse Flash that came on the Flashpoint 2-pack. Really nice looking figure. Really a size difference, but it's okay because I think this is our powerhouse Shazam that looks absolutely awesome. And I'm just so happy to have these guys in the collection, in my DC Multiverse collection. Very cool as he zooms off. And then we got to bring in this guy. This was a custom. I did some head swapping, had to swap out the ball peg. This figure, which had the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson head sculpt on it, which is really good. Don't want the head sculpt on my figure, though. Had one of the longest neck pegs. It was ridiculous. So I swapped that out for a regular extended neck peg. And I put the page punchers Black Adam head on there. And it has a definite more comic book look to him. He's definitely imposing a real powerhouse looking character. And I think these two, my goodness, they're more sized in proportion to each other. Or we brought out this guy. There is a significant height difference between these two figures. And you can see that. And I think the Black Adam would really take down this Shazam. But having these two guys together, I think this could be an epic, epic battle. Man, this could be some really fun shorts, and it would look so good on your shelf with the rest of your collection. And then we'll bring in the OG of this body buck. We got the Action Comics head sculpt on this Superman. We got this really nice classic looking Superman. Oops, took a tumble, but he's back up. And these two guys look awesome together. They share the same body buck, but could you tell that they're really the same figure? Not really, but the body buck is so damn good. And I hope we get a bit more use out of this before, McFarlane passes the torch on to Mattel. And God, I'm probably going to say that so many times, but I really hope we get a couple more different characters using this body buck, and just seeing these two guys together. I think that we're going to have some epic, epic battles. This one definitely has a kind of a retro feel to it with that Metropolis blue. I repainted the belt gold, get rid of that yellow I wasn't crazy about. And this one's kind of like a timeless Shazam. It's contemporary, but a classic look. And I think that is captured perfectly with that head sculpt. One of the finest I've seen. And this body buck, man, it just rocks. Really great looking figure. So I am extremely happy to have this Shazam in the collection. And I got to share it with you guys. And I'm very happy. If you are looking for this guy, hunt him down, get him. Because I think he is going to be one of those figures that it's going to go up in price. It's going to get harder to find. I remember seeing him on Amazon maybe a few days ago, and his price already jumped up to about $37 from 29. So, I think, the fluctuation on Amazon happens, but I would get him before he becomes scarce. He is definitely a must-have if you're a fan like I am, or you just want some really filled-out roster of Justice League. Add your Shazam figure to it. I think it would definitely boost up the power rating and really make a presence on your shelf. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, join the OG Universe team, and if you feel like sharing this video with your friends and family and other social media platforms, I've seen that happen a lot on Facebook. I've seen a lot of my videos out there, and it's not like oh, someone's stealing it. They're just sharing it, and that's cool. I totally appreciate that. Very cool to see my videos out there getting a lot of views too, and it makes me proud. Definitely warms my heart to see that. So thank you very much for all of you guys that do that. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.